I pause on Mom's porch, staring at the professionally wrapped iPad mini under my arm. The Austin sun beats down on my cardigan, making sweat prickle along my hairline. Through the screen door, laughter spills out like wine at Thanksgiving, expensive and inevitable. Kayla's turning 12 today. My niece, who still calls me Auntie E, even though Melissa keeps telling her it sounds babyish. My free hand smooths down the front of my cardigan. The beige one I bought at Macy's back when Bush was president, back when I thought dressing like a proper adult would make them see me differently. The receipt for that is probably still in my filing cabinet, along with hundreds of others, breadcrumbs of trying to buy my way into belonging. The door creaks when I push it open. No one looks up. They never do. Kayla sprawls in the middle of the living room floor, surrounded by a Christmas morning explosion of wrapping paper. Her long legs are crossed at the ankles, and she's wearing the kind of outfit that costs more than my weekly grocery budget. Melissa must have taken her shopping at the Domain again. "There's my birthday girl," I say, stepping over a discarded box from Nordstrom. Kayla's eyes light up when she sees the signature white and silver package under my arm. "Is that for me, Auntie E?" "Of course." I hold out the gift, warmth spreading through my chest at her excitement. This is why I do it. This moment. This smile. "I remembered you mentioning how much you wanted one." She tears into the paper with the casual confidence of a child who's never had to worry about affording anything. The iPad mini gleams in the afternoon light, streaming through Mom's floor-to-ceiling windows. $600 of trying to matter. Kayla turns the box over in her hands, then looks at Melissa with a laugh that makes my stomach clench. "Hey, Mom, remember what you said about Aunt Erin yesterday?" Melissa's lips curve into that familiar smirk. The one she's worn since we were kids, and she was telling me I couldn't sit with her at lunch. "Which part, sweetie?" "About how if she disappeared tomorrow, nobody would care." Kayla's voice carries the careless cruelty of a child repeating something they don't understand. Well, except the landlord. The laughter starts with Frank, my stepfather's belly laugh bouncing off the walls like a rubber ball. Then Mom, hiding her smile behind her hand like she always does when she's enjoying something she shouldn't. Even the twins from next door, who I didn't notice were here, join in with nervous giggles. My hands hover in the air where I was holding out the gift, now empty but still reaching, like they're stuck in a loop, trying to give and give and give until someone finally decides I'm worth keeping. My heartbeat drowns out their laughter, pounding in my ears like a drum at a funeral march. Boom, boom, boom. Each beat screaming, "You knew, you knew, you knew." "Who wants cake?" Mom stands, smoothing her slacks. The same ones I paid to have dry clean last month when she complained about being short before pension day. I sink into the recliner, the one Frank got when his back was acting up. The one I helped pay for because family helps family. That's what Mom always says, right before she asks for money. The next hour passes in mechanical movements. Cut the cake. Small talk. Smile. Pass the ice cream. Smile. Listen to Frank joke about my single status. Smile. Watch Mom pretend she doesn't hear when Melissa makes another crack about my apartment. Smile. 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 Everyone takes seconds of the cake. German chocolate, Kayla's favorite. I'd special ordered it from that fancy bakery downtown, the one where a single slice costs as much as a teacher's lunch. The receipt for that is probably sitting in my filing cabinet too, right next to the utility bills I paid for Mom last month and the car insurance I cover for Frank. I watch them all from behind my painted-on smile. Watch how they talk around me like I'm a piece of furniture. Watch how they reach for my wallet but never my hand. Watch how they've gotten bolder with their jokes now that the first one landed so well. Have you ever realized in one moment that your entire family sees you as nothing more than a wallet? That every smile, every hug, every love you sis comes with a price tag attached? That you've spent years building a family out of receipts and IOUs and they don't even have the decency to pretend otherwise anymore? I have. Right here, right now, watching my 12-year-old niece laugh about my disappearance while eating the cake I bought, sitting in the house I helped pay for. Surrounded by the family I've spent my life trying to buy. And suddenly, with crystal clarity, I know exactly what I'm going to do about it. After the dinner was over, I headed home. My knuckles blanch against the steering wheel as I navigate through Austin's evening traffic. The radio plays softly some oldies station Mom used to love when I was little. Before Frank, before the divorce, before I became the family ATM. Lionel Richie croons about dancing on the ceiling while my mind replays Kayla's words on an endless loop. If she disappeared tomorrow, nobody would care. A horn blares. I've drifted into the next lane. The truck driver's gesture speaks volumes as he passes, but I barely register it. My eyes catch my reflection in the rearview mirror, premature lines etched around my eyes like tiny footprints of every just this once request, every emergency loan, every missed vacation because someone needed bail money or rent or grocery money. The sun sets behind me as I pull into my apartment complex. The same complex I've lived in for 8 years because every time I saved enough for a down payment on a house, someone's crisis emptied my account. The parking lot stretches before me, each empty space a reminder of all the things I've given up. Inside, my small kitchen table becomes command central. The laptop's glow bathes everything in cold blue light as I pull up my banking app. My hands shake, but my clicks are precise, methodical. Like grading papers. Like keeping receipts. Like building a case. First, Mom's utility payments. $412 auto-drafted on the 3rd of every month. Click. Cancel. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Confirmation number copied into a fresh spreadsheet. Frank's car insurance follows. $180 monthly for a truck he uses to drive to the golf course while I pack my lunch to save money. Click. Cancel. Are you sure? God, yes. Melissa's rent assistance lands next. $800. $800 every month so my sister can live in a luxury apartment complex while I count quarters for laundry. Click. Cancel. The satisfaction burns like whiskey in my throat. The filing cabinet in my home office holds 5 years of perfectly organized receipts. Teacher habits die hard. Each manila folder contains a different category of financial bleeding. Utilities, insurance, rent, medical bills, Christmas lists, birthday presents. They spread across my floor like fallen autumn leaves. $85,423. The number stares up at me from my calculator. 5 years of silent support. 5 years of just until I get back on my feet, and you know how tight things are, and what kind of sister would let her niece go without? My old black college backpack still has paint stains from my teaching certification celebration, the one none of them attended because Frank had a golf tournament. The receipts fill it completely, organized by year, by person, by type of emergency. A paper trail of manipulation. 2 a.m. finds me creeping back to Mom's house like a teenager missing curfew. The porch light casts long shadows across the manicured lawn I paid to have landscaped last spring. My shoes whisper against the concrete as I approach the front door. The spare key slides into the lock, the one they gave me, for emergencies, but really meant for dropping off checks. The door opens with a familiar squeak, the one Frank keeps promising to fix but never does. Inside, the house sleeps. Photographs line the walls, memories I helped fund but barely appear in. I place the backpack just inside the door. In the dim light, it looks smaller than I remember. Too small to contain 5 years of financial abuse. Too small to hold all the times I said yes when I meant no. All the dreams I delayed. All the boundaries I let them trample. My hand lingers on the doorknob. The metal feels cool against my palm, grounding me in this moment. This choice. This revolution. Click. The door closes behind me with the quiet finality of a judge's gavel. In my car, I watch the porch light flicker once, twice, like a farewell wave. The darkness that follows feels like permission. Tomorrow, they'll find the backpack. Tomorrow, they'll see the evidence of their parasitic love laid bare in neat columns and stapled receipts. Tomorrow, they'll realize that their ATM has grown a spine. But tonight belongs to me. I drive home through empty streets, my rearview mirror empty of guilt, my future finally my own. The radio plays I Will Survive, and for the first time in 5 years, I turn it up and sing along. The next morning, my phone buzzes at 7 a.m. sharp. I was already at work, preparing extra material for the lectures. Carol's name flashes across the screen, the same way it has every morning for the past 5 years when she needs something. I watch it ring, then fall silent. 3 more calls light up my screen in quick succession. The voicemail notification pings as I erase the morning's sleep from my eyes. Her voice crackles through the speaker, high and thin with panic. Erin Grace Blake, you answer this phone right now. What is this? This backpack doing on my doorstep? Melissa's texts start rolling in before Carol's voicemail ends. My sister's messages pop up one after another, each marked with those 3 angry dots that mean she's still typing. Payment declined on rent. What the actual hell, Erin? Mom just called about some backpack? Answer your damn phone. The family group chat explodes next. Frank's all-caps rage about his car insurance, Carol's stream of question marks, Melissa's threats about lawyers. I mute them all and get ready for work. Second period flows smooth as honey until Frank's voice booms through the hallway, rattling the classroom windows. Where is she? I need to speak to my daughter right now. My students pause their discussion of the old man and the sea. 30 pairs of eyes fixed on the door. Santiago's struggle with his Marlins suddenly feels too close to home. Miss Blake? Tommy Martinez whispers from the front row. You okay? I uncap my red pen. Let's look at how Hemingway uses repetition to build tension in paragraph 3. Frank's shouts grow louder, closer. You can't just cut people off without warning. We're family. Security arrives before he reaches my classroom. I keep writing on the whiteboard as they escort him out, his protest fading like a storm moving offshore. My hand doesn't shake until I set down the marker. Principal Weber appears after class, his hand warm on my shoulder. Everything all right, Aaron? Family stuff. I shuffle papers into my bag. Nothing that will affect my teaching. That's not what I asked. I meet his concerned gaze. I know. The sun hangs low when I finally leave campus, painting the sky the color of old bruises. My apartment door stands slightly ajar, wood splintered around the lock. The spare key I gave Carol 5 years ago lies on my kitchen counter like a confession. They've ransacked every drawer, every cabinet. My perfectly organized filing system sprawls across the floor in drifts of white paper. They were looking for more receipts, more evidence of the money I've poured into their lives. But the black backpack held it all. My phone rings again. Carol. Always Carol. I dial 911 first, then a locksmith. The operator asks if I feel safe. The locksmith promises to be here in 30 minutes. I sit on my couch and compose a single text to the family group chat. You're not welcome here anymore, please respect that. The responses flood in immediately. Threats, guilt, promises, demands. I block their numbers one by one, like pulling arrows from a wound. The locksmith arrives right on time. While he works, I start gathering the scattered papers. Bank statements, credit card bills, thank you cards from Kayla that Carol must have made her write. Each piece of paper represents another time I said yes when I should have said no. All set, the locksmith says, handing me 2 new keys. Want some advice? Don't give the spare to your family. I laugh until tears run down my face. Later, after the police report is filed and the new locks are tested, I stand at my kitchen window. The security light from the parking lot casts strange shadows on my walls. For the first time in 5 years, my phone is silent. A text comes through from an unknown number, probably Melissa using someone else's phone. I delete it without reading. Then I delete the thread of family messages. Years of manipulation preserved in digital amber. My apartment feels bigger somehow. Emptier, yes, but in the way a lung feels empty just before taking a deep breath. I pick up the spare key Carol left behind. Such a small thing to carry so much weight. 5 years of midnight emergencies and early morning crises. 5 years of just until next month and, family helps family. The key goes into the trash with the remnants of my filing system. Tomorrow, I'll need to call the school about changing my emergency contacts. I'll need to warn my bank about possible fraud attempts. I'll need to start building walls where there used to be open doors. But tonight, I just breathe in the silence. The present moment, his voice on the phone carries the practiced smoothness of a used car salesman. Just coffee, Aaron. That's all I'm asking. Murphy's Diner, like old times. I stare at the wilting African violet on my classroom windowsill, its purple petals drooping under the Texas afternoon sun. 3 weeks of silence from my family, and now Frank wants to talk. Please, he adds when I don't respond. Carol isn't sleeping. Melissa had to move back home. We need to figure this out. The bell rings, signaling the end of 5th period. My students shuffle past, backpacks heavy with American literature textbooks. Tommy Rodriguez gives me a concerned look. He must have noticed my white-knuckled grip on the phone. Okay, I say finally. Tomorrow morning, 8 sharp. The next morning, the familiar neon sign of Murphy's Diner bathes the parking lot in flickering red light. Through the window, I spot Frank already seated in our usual booth, the one where we used to have Saturday morning breakfast before everything imploded. His shoulders hunch forward like a vulture's wings. The bell above the door jingles as I enter. Martha, who's been serving coffee here since Reagan was president, catches my eye. Her lined face creases with worry. I slide into the booth, setting my old black backpack beside me. The same one that started all this, now stuffed with fresh ammunition. "You look tired," Frank says, stirring his coffee. 4 sugars, like always. The spoon clinks against porcelain with military precision. "That's not why we're here." His jaw tightens. "No, we're here because you abandoned your family, left us high and dry without a word." The coffee pot appears between us, Martha's weathered hand steady as she fills my cup. "The usual breakfast, honey?" "Just coffee today, Martha. Thanks." Frank waits until she's out of earshot. "Your mother had to borrow money from her sister. Do you have any idea how that felt for her? Having to go begging to Linda, of all people?" I take a slow sip of coffee, letting the bitter warmth spread through my chest. Then I unzip the backpack. "What's that?" His eyes narrow as I pull out the first manila folder. Evidence. I lay the folder on the Formica table between us. Every utility bill I've paid for Mom in the last 5 years. Notice how they're all original copies? That's because she never even opened them, just forwarded them straight to me. His coffee cup freezes halfway to his mouth. I place a second folder beside the first. Melissa's rent assistance. 3 eviction notices I quietly handled before they ever reached her door. Plus the security deposit for her new place after Brad kicked her out. Now wait a minute. Kayla's school supplies. Another folder joins the pile. Every registration fee, every field trip, every yearbook, every fundraiser. Plus the braces you swore you'd pay me back for. The diner's morning regulars pretend not to watch, but I feel their eyes. They've seen us here hundreds of times, Frank telling his war stories while I nodded and smiled and picked up the check. The car insurance. I tap the 4th folder. The one you said was just temporary 2 years ago. The one that lapsed because I finally stopped covering it. Color drains from his face like water circling a drain. "I was going to pay you back. We all were. You know times have been tough." Tough enough to joke about my disappearance at a 12-year-old's birthday party? His coffee cup clatters against the saucer. That was just Kayla repeating something she heard. Kids say things. Kids repeat what they hear at home. I open the last folder, my voice never rising above conversational level. "Here's the masterpiece, Frank. A spreadsheet of every dollar I've given this family over 5 years. $85,412. Not counting birthday gifts, Christmas presents, or the 3 months of mortgage payments when you lost your job at the dealership." Jesus Christ, Aaron. He scrubs a hand over his face. The early morning sun streaming through the window highlights every line, every gray hair I helped put there. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing." I close the folders one by one, tucking them back into the backpack. "That's the point. I don't want anything from you. Not anymore." "We're family," he says, but the words sound hollow now, like an echo in an empty room. Family doesn't treat their wallet to birthday cake. I stand, shouldering the backpack. "The folders are copies. Keep them. Show them to Mom and Melissa. Or don't. I really don't care anymore." Martha appears with the check, but I wave her off. "Frank's got this one." His face crumples like a paper bag as I walk away, leaving him surrounded by 5 years of receipts and a cooling cup of coffee he'll have to pay for himself. The bell chimes again as I push through the door into the morning sun. Behind me, I imagine Frank staring at the stack of folders, finally seeing the price tag on the family's love. Sometimes the quietest revenge is simply showing the truth. I will show them that I am a human as well, and will keep my peace in the next 3 months. Carol stands on my front step at 7 in the morning, 3 months after Kayla's birthday. Her mascara has carved black rivers down her cheeks, and she clutches a shut-off notice from the electric company like a funeral program. "They're saying it's final this time." Her voice wavers. "Frank tried calling the supervisor, but..." I lean against my doorframe, the wood cool through my thin blouse. Behind me, my coffee maker gurgles its morning song. The smell of fresh brew drifts past, wrapping around us both like a question mark. "I can't help anymore, Mom." Her face crumples. "But you always..." "Not anymore." The words float between us, simple and devastating as a flatline. My mother stares at me like she's seeing a stranger. Maybe she is. The Erin she knew would have already grabbed her checkbook, would have skipped breakfast to drive down to the utility office, would have done anything to stop those tears. But that Erin drowned in the laughter at her niece's birthday party. 3 days later, Melissa's eviction notice arrives. I hear about it from the neighbor across the hall, the one who works at the courthouse. Melissa showed up there screaming about tenant rights, dragging Kayla behind her like a rag doll. Security had to escort them both out. Child Protective Services got involved after Melissa shoved the landlord. Kayla's staying with her father now. Temporary custody, they say. I sent her a card with a Barnes & Noble gift card tucked inside. Not an iPad this time. Just enough for a few paperbacks to escape into. The morning Frank loses his job, I'm teaching The Great Gatsby to my junior AP class. We're discussing the green light, that beacon of impossible hope that Gatsby reaches for across the water. Someone tells me later that Frank had been ranting at work about ungrateful children and family loyalty. That he'd thrown a stapler at his computer screen when his car insurance bill arrived unpaid. I highlight my favorite passages in the book that night, sitting cross-legged on my balcony. The Texas evening wraps around me like a shawl, warm and forgiving. My phone stays silent in my pocket. No more emergency calls, no more financial fires to extinguish. Instead, I walk. Every evening after school, I lace up my sneakers and trace new paths through the neighborhood. Past the coffee shop where I used to pick up Carol's favorite lattes. Around the boutique where I bought Melissa's Christmas gifts. By the electronics store that knew me by name. Days later, the guilt comes in waves, usually at night. It rises like the tide, threatening to drag me under. But then I remember Kayla's casual cruelty, the family's laughter. 5 years of receipts stuffed into a black backpack. The tide recedes. You seem different lately, Angela from the English department tells me over lunch. Lighter somehow. I pause, fork halfway to my mouth. She's right. My shoulders have unknotted themselves. The permanent crease between my eyebrows has started to fade. When was the last time I checked my bank account with dread? I'm trying new recipes, I tell her. Small talk is safer than truth. But it is true, I've started cooking for myself. Real meals, not just the rushed sandwiches I ate between family crises. Last night I made coq au vin, just because I wanted to. The leftovers sit in my fridge like a promise, you deserve good things. In the weeks to come, the local bookstore becomes my sanctuary. Mr. Peters, the owner, waves when I come in. He never asks why I suddenly have time to browse, why I'm not rushing out with a hastily purchased birthday gift or self-help book. He just recommends mysteries and remembers how I take my tea. You should join our book club, he suggests one rainy Tuesday. We're reading Pat Conroy next month. I say yes. The word feels foreign on my tongue. Yes, to something just for me. Yes, without calculating the cost. Yes, without checking if anyone else needs me that evening. My apartment transforms too. Not with big purchases or renovations, but in small ways. A potted basil plant on the kitchen windowsill. A real coffee mug to replace the travel ones I lived from. Fresh sheets on the bed every Sunday. A yoga mat unrolled in the living room. Miss Blake? Tommy Martinez stays after class one day shuffling his feet. I just wanted to say, your class is different now. Better. Like you're really here with us. His words follow me home, echoing in my head. Really here? When was the last time I was really anywhere? For years, I lived in a constant state of anticipation. Waiting for the next crisis, the next demand, the next drain on my bank account and soul. The community notices. My next-door neighbor brings me tomatoes from her garden. The barista at Starbucks learns my name instead of just my family's complicated orders. The librarian recommends books without asking if they're for Kayla. I build routines like walls. Morning coffee on the balcony, afternoon walks, evening reading. No more 3 a.m. phone calls about unpaid bills. No more canceled plans because someone else's life imploded. No more stretching my paycheck across 3 households. The guilt still visits, but now it stays for coffee instead of moving in. We sit together, the guilt and I, watching the sunset paint Austin in shades of possibility. Sometimes I wonder if this makes me selfish, choosing myself over family. But then, I water my basil plant, grade papers without interruption, cook meals that nobody complains about. And slowly, like a Polaroid developing in reverse, the picture of my life becomes clearer. Not the blurred edges of someone else's needs. Not the negative space of what I gave away. Just me, in focus at last, learning the difference between being alone and being lonely. One ordinary Tuesday, I catch my reflection in the bathroom mirror and stop. The woman looking back has clear eyes and straight shoulders. She looks well-rested, well-fed, well-loved, finally, by herself. Good morning, I whisper to her. For the first time in years, she smiles back. She finally got her peace and freedom back. 6 months later, the wind whips my hair across my face as I walk down Congress Avenue. 6 months have passed since Kayla's birthday, and the city feels different now. Lighter. The storefront windows reflect a woman I'm still getting used to seeing, shoulders back, chin lifted, steps sure against the sidewalk. I pass Sugar Dreams Bakery, where I used to special order those overpriced German chocolate cakes. The bell above the door chimes as customers shuffle in and out, but it doesn't make my stomach clench anymore. The boutique next door, where I spent hundreds on Christmas sweaters and Easter dresses that earn nothing but criticism, might as well be selling furniture for all the emotional pull it has now. A street musician's guitar cuts through the evening air. The melody flows down 6th Street, something slow and sweet that reminds me of summer thunderstorms. I stop, letting the music wash over me. My lips curve up without permission or purpose, the kind of smile that used to feel foreign on my face. The guitarist nods as I approach, never missing a note. His case lies open at his feet, scattered with small bills and loose change. I pull a 20 from my wallet, the same wallet that used to hemorrhage money into Frank's car insurance and Mom's utility bills. The bill flutters into his case. When he smiles, I don't search his expression for hidden meanings or veiled expectations. Beautiful song, I say and mean it. His thank you is simple, genuine. A complete transaction of humanity with no strings attached. I catch glimpses of myself in store windows as I continue my walk. The beige cardigan is gone, replaced by a forest green sweater I bought because I liked the color, not because it was on clearance. My posture has changed too. Gone is the permanent apologetic hunch, the physical manifestation of taking up too much space in my own life. Miss Blake! I turn to find Jenna, one of my AP Literature students, waving from outside the public library. She clutches a copy of Their Eyes Were Watching God to her chest. Taking my advice about supplemental reading? I ask. Yes. And you were right, it's so much better than the SparkNotes version. Her enthusiasm radiates like sunlight. The way you explained Janie's journey in class yesterday. It finally clicked, you know? I do know. It's the same feeling I get now when I teach pure and uncomplicated by the weight of family obligations that used to drag at my ankles. My lessons have room to breathe these days, so do I. The setting sun paints Austin in shades of amber as I climb the stairs to my apartment. Friday evenings used to mean waiting by the phone for the next crisis, the next demand, the next emotional hostage situation disguised as family need. Now they belong to me. My small balcony garden greets me with green abundance. Herbs stretch toward the remaining sunlight: basil, mint, and rosemary that I planted 8 weeks ago. The tomato plant I almost killed has rebounded, heavy with fruit. Turns out some things thrive better with benign neglect than obsessive caretaking. A real laugh bubbles up from somewhere deep in my chest as I water each pot. The sound startles me, not because it's unfamiliar anymore, but because I finally recognize it as my own. When was the last time I laughed like this in that house on Oak Lane? Did I ever? The sun sinks lower, painting the sky in watercolor strokes of pink and gold. I lean against the balcony railing, letting the evening breeze carry away the last wisps of old guilt. My phone sits silent in my pocket. No frantic texts about overdue bills, no manipulative voicemails about family loyalty, no group chat messages designed to shame me back into line. The silence feels like permission to exhale. Below my balcony, the city pulses with Friday night energy. Students spill out of bars, couples walk hand in hand, food truck owners call out their specialties. All these lives intersecting and separating, each person carrying their own story. I used to think being alone meant being lonely, like those were just different words for the same emptiness. I was wrong. Loneliness was sitting at that birthday party, surrounded by people who saw me as nothing but an ATM with a pulse. Loneliness was every Christmas morning watching Kayla open the gifts I sacrificed to buy, while Melissa smirked about my tiny apartment. Loneliness was every family dinner where my voice disappeared beneath the weight of everyone else's needs. The tomatoes on my plant glow like tiny lanterns in the fading light. I pluck one, warm from the sun, and bite into it. The burst of flavor on my tongue tastes like victory, like choice, like finally understanding that loving yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. I choose myself, I whisper to the darkening sky. The words don't feel like betrayal anymore, they feel like truth. I fill my watering can one more time, tending to each plant with the same care I used to pour into people who treated me like a resource to be drained. The herbs release their fragrance under my touch, living things responding to attention freely given, not demanded. My garden thrives because I choose to tend it, not because it threatens to wither if I don't. The distinction matters. Everything about my life now exists because I choose it, not because someone else's happiness depends on my sacrifice. The stars emerge one by one above Austin. I stay on my balcony until the first cricket songs replace the traffic noise below. Tomorrow stretches ahead of me, unmarked by obligation or guilt. I have papers to grade, yes, but also a new book to read, a yoga class to try, seeds to plant in the empty pot by my door. All these small freedoms, all these chances to grow something new in soil that's finally my own.